Bam,
We
bam,
are
bam.
live.
We're live. We're live. Yes, we're live. Skip Clark, host of Skip Happens, and of course, Deb Fear, the founder and president of the Country Music Fan Club, and our guest tonight. We're like, I think that was my phone. I don't know, something dinged, but we are. I love it because I love saying this because I'm a radio guy. We're coast to coast tonight. And
Yeah.
the reason being, Ashley Barron is with us, SSM recording artist Ashley Barron. She's already had a couple of songs on the radio. And, well, she is, I'll let her tell you. Ashley, just tell us where you are and describe your surroundings to us.
Well, I am in a very, very hot California. And
Oh,
Northern California, I'm right outside of Sacramento. And currently, right now, I'm sitting in my living room.
Wait a minute, there's a buck. There's a mounted deer head on the wall behind you.
Yes, that is my buck. I named him Larry.
That's your buck. You shot that buck.
Yep, I shot that deer probably about almost 5 years ago in September.
Wow, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you like to hunt, I would assume?
I guess so.
Jason Wall, which you can't see, is my big turkey.
Oh, you got the turkey.
Yeah, and then he was my last hunt, I think, 5 years ago. So it's been a while. I'm due for another, but I like to hunt.
Wow, that's really cool. Is that from out there? I would presume.
No, actually, we went up to Wyoming, small town right outside of Sheridan, Wyoming. My dad's a big hunter. That's, how I was raised. And so he, mom and I, that year, he promised he took, and her and I did all the hunter safety course, and that was our first big hunt. So.
Wow, that's pretty neat. It's not all that often we hear a woman talking about how much she loves to hunt, and and you got Larry there on the wall, which is
He's so cute. It's almost like he's alive.
He's pretty quiet. He doesn't say He doesn't make much. He doesn't snort like bucks do. So. Hey, so Ashley Barron, welcome. Again, we're coast to coast and your music, and we're going to find out all about you tonight and what you've been up to. So let's get right to it now that we know where you are and what you like. But tell us about you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I was born and raised on country music and been singing my whole life. So that's kind of, how I knew I wanted to be a singer. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and I'm pretty young. Like my youngest sister is 10 years older than me. And then my oldest brother is 15 years older than me.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, so I was raised as like the baby, and I used to go around and just always want to entertain them when they were home or like when they were home from college and stuff. So that's kind of where I got that knack. But let's see. Other things about me.
No, I know that's cool though. I mean, usually families aren't that spread apart. That many years in between siblings.
Yeah. So my mom was married before, and then with my dad, she knew, they wanted to have a kid, and then luckily they had me. So.
And I bet you were very spoiled.
Yeah.
That's the way it always is with the youngest?
Yeah.
Now, are they into music at all, or is it just you?
Funny, we get out of time, and no, they love music. My sister Emily is like a music freak. She listens to everything. She is like goes to every single concert. Anytime anybody's in town, she's there. And then my other sister Sarah and my brother Adam, they love like old school rock kind of music. So I was raised on it all.
And tell us about so you've got a new song on the radio now.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, of course. And then you got Beer in a Bar, which was out a little while ago. And we were going to do a show with you here in the Northeast, but then COVID set in and everything shut down. We were going to do a showcase, and so we weren't able to meet. What's that?
That was like seriously right at the beginning of when all of this started.
Yes. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, do you write your own music, or do you co-write, or tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I co-write. And I basically, when I signed with my label a couple years ago, I knew that I wanted to write music. I had tried it by myself. I mean, still, I've never showed people that by the stuff I wrote by myself. But when I expressed that interest, they got me started in a bunch of co-writes, which has just been awesome. And so I've been learning the writing process, and I have huge respect for songwriters. I mean,
Mhm.
it's insane how talented these people are, and it's really fun. It's a great way to be creative and let that side out.
I love it. I love it. It's pretty neat. So, go ahead.
Yep. So it's a very special craft, very special talent to be able to do that. We're always intrigued by the songwriting side of this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And so you're writing, you're singing. The new song I love because it's got a little bit of attitude to it and a good way it might get loud. How did all that come about? I mean, it's a little bit different than Beer in a Bar.
Well, so and "Might Get Loud" isn't the new single.
Okay.
The new single is "Let Me Go."
Right. I'm sorry, I got them in the wrong order here, but yeah.
Oh, okay. That's okay. No, "It Might Get Loud" was actually a really old song that I didn't even write. That one I just got from a demo, and I fell in love with it, and we made it a rockin' song.
Mhm.
But the new single, "Let Me Go," I did get to write, and I wrote that with Dean, Michael Huffman, and Alex Dooley. Dean Scallion, sorry.
Mhm.
And that one was really awesome because they more so started to have this idea when we were in the writing room, and I was like, whoa, you guys, I hadn't even told them, about my past or past relationships or anything like that, and they just started kind of coming up with this idea, and I was like, wow, I can like really relate, like this is actually something I went
Mhm.
through, and then we
Mhm.
kind of talked it out, and that's how the song came about.
Wow. Is that a band that you play with on a regular basis?
The who?
Do you have a band that you stay with all the time? Do you have the same bunch of guys that you play with on a
So
regular basis or no?
Yeah, so I have a California band. I have my
Okay.
guys that I love, and I have my bass player from California has been with me since I started. Like he's the only original still with me, I think. And then I have a band in Nashville as well.
Yeah. And how often do you get back to Nashville?
Well, typically, I'm there every month, but
Right.
right now I've been stuck in California, which has kind of been a blessing in disguise. But I had kept booking trips, and then things kept happening with the way
Mhm.
this world is, and so I canceled all those. Luckily, I mean, it's been a breeze to cancel, and now I just booked another trip, and I'm going to go out there for a couple weeks, and I'm making it happen.
Yeah. But stay safe when you do that. When you say it's been a blessing in disguise, what do you mean?
My mom got sick during
Oh.
this as well. Yeah, she got diagnosed with a autoimmune called scleroderma,
Mhm.
which ironically I have as well, and we have it differently. However, I have what's called linear scleroderma, which is on the outside of my body.
Okay.
Uh, and my mom has systemic scleroderma, which is on the inside of her body. So for her, unfortunately, it's attacked her kidneys. And we've been going through a roller coaster the past couple months with her at first in and out of the hospitals trying to figure out like what was going on, and then now they have her started on a treatment plan, and we should be reevaluating soon. She's on dialysis,
I got
so
you.
yeah, we'll reevaluate. I think coming the next coming month, and hopefully, we're hopeful, and we just keep praying.
Now, I would presume that's hereditary then, obviously. I mean, if it's something that you have and then your mom has.
Yeah, so they don't know
Okay.
this disease is very, very rare. When I got it, I was about 5 or 6 years old when it started to come up on my body, and genetically, we do have also celiac disease.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
so I'm allergic to wheat, gluten, dairy, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and originally, they were connected. And back then, I mean, that was what in the early 2000s when that happened. How old was I? or the, or the,
Don't
the
give it away. Don't give it away. It's okay. I get it.
anyways, it's so rare that they're still figuring things out about it. So they haven't been able to pinpoint if it is
Mhm.
actually hereditary. One of my sisters did already get tested, and she doesn't have it. So that's huge. My other sister is going to get tested, and then my mom's sister will get tested as well.
Well, we pray for the best, and we pray for your mom. So
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm sure things are going to work out okay. Just
Yeah.
it's going to take a little bit of time.
Mhm.
With your music, though, when did you first realize that you wanted to do what you're doing? I mean, you said you've been brought up on country music. I get that, but when did you say to yourself, you know what, I want to try to be a country artist. I want to get out there and I want to do this.
Yeah. Well, I had like I said, I've been singing forever, but I never really got started into like singing lessons or anything like
Mhm.
that until I was, I think, in probably a little before junior high. And then in junior high, I decided to join the choir, and that kind of followed throughout into high school. And in high school, the choir teacher and I did not really get along. So I dropped that. And then one of my friends got a coach who was down in the city in
Mhm.
Sacramento. And she got me connected with him, and he basically was my voice coach all throughout high school. And when I was getting ready to go off to college, he used to be signed way back in the day, old rock days. He was into the Quincy Jones label,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and yeah, big kind of rock guy. And so he had done all that. And he'd done the live music, the writing, the producing, and all that. And so when I was going to go to college in Arizona, he was like, I really want to get back into the studio. I'd love to start that again. Would you want to record an album with me and stay here instead of go to Arizona? So my dad asked, and I looked at him,
Mhm.
and the only things we regret in life are the things that we don't do. And the fact
Mhm.
full support to say no to Arizona and apply at Sac State and stay and record an album just made it clear for me that I want to do this.
Mhm. And you've gotten some pretty nice reviews on your work. Notice that. So that's excellent. 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 You wrote the whole album? I mean, or how many tracks were on that album?
No, so that was, I think,
That was
I
early
think
on, obviously, but
that early on, and I think there were 10 tracks,
okay,
and all of them we got from publishers from LA and Nashville,
gotcha.
and that was like my first experience. I mean, that was overwhelming. I think that we went through probably about like 500 songs, and I was
Mhm.
like, great. But that's just how we started. I didn't know that I wanted to write back then. I still think that I was so young when that happened. I don't
Mhm.
even think I would have known what to say. So it
Right.
worked. I mean, I got great studio experience. I got like to meet the studio band and learn from them. And I think that's really helped me with my transition to Nashville.
Exactly. Now, how did you get hooked up with SSM?
So through what I was doing here, I became really close with a local radio station that unfortunately isn't around anymore. But it was Toast Jackson,
Okay.
him. But anyways, he was a program director, and like, you have to go to Nashville, and was like
Mhm.
so adamant on it. So he was like, I want to take you, and he took me, and it was a CMA award, so I got to see the CMA remotes and all that stuff, and I met a guy there who then eventually introduced me to Dean, and all that
Yeah.
got connected.
Yeah, it's history. You gotta love it. I love Patty. I love Dean. I love that whole group. They do such a great job, and we know they have a great roster of artists, and you being one of those. So that's the other reason we're like very excited to chat with you. When they said, "Yeah, we'll get Ashley to come on your podcast," and I said, "That's cool. Deb and I would love to chat with her." So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, very neat. So I'm not this whole quarantine thing though. Have you been able to kind of regroup a little bit and kind of maybe work on some songwriting or some of the music, or
Yeah.
did you just kind of put everything down for a little bit?
No. So I mean, I took a little, especially when everything started to go down with my mom. That was very overwhelming and just a really hard time. And but then, after a couple months of that, I asked Dean to, set up some Zoom rights. So I've been doing that. I've gotten back into it, and I think that's what made me to be like, okay, I want to go to Nashville kind of no matter what. I need to get back into my groove and performing and being in the music because it's truly my only passion.
And it kind of takes your mind off some of those other things too.
Yeah.
And It just kind of, I mean, I know it's a tough situation with your mom and everything that you have going, but just music kind of takes the edge off of all that.
Oh, totally. I totally believe that music is healing, especially even just listening to other people's songs. I mean, it just can be so helpful in realizing your own emotions and what you're going through in life and connecting to something else.
Mhm. So have you been doing any some Facebook lives or takeovers or anything like that?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was doing a lot of the takeovers with radio and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I sort of tried to start to do my own thing. And recently, I've, just been regrouping with social media in general, getting ready for the release of Let Me Go. So,
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I
Mm.
know we are on Let Me Go. I can tell you that right here in Syracuse, the Wolf is we've got it out there and we've got it on. So, we're glad to do that. I'm sorry about that earlier. I just had my list screwed up here when I looked at it.
no, it's okay.
He just didn't have enough coffee before he popped on. That's all. He's been on the lazy side. He's been on vacation all week. He hasn't done much of anything.
Thanks, Dad.
Uh, too bad.
No, it's good. I do have a week off from radio, but we're still doing the podcast every night. So
Mhm.
we're really, just kind of, I've been like sitting around most of the
Mhm.
day. Really not much to do. We've had beautiful weather, but my wife still has to work and she's working from home, but I kind of let her do her thing. And I usually hang out down here in my studio or I sit out in the yard or try to get a few things done. But you know how that goes. You start something, then it's like, I don't want to, whatever. I lose interest quickly. I don't know. It's just something about it. But I
I
do.
Gets distracted.
have either of you gotten into the whole redoing your entire house that everyone's doing in quarantine?
You know what? I'm trying to, believe it or not. I'm probably the only person that's gone through quarantine that has not tackled my list yet
Yeah.
because we have our own company. We actually have several companies, and during quarantine, all of our employees were at home. So I was going to the office every day. So I was doing my work plus maybe any additional work that somebody couldn't cover because they weren't in the office. So I do all that. And then, of course, then we went back and everybody's back. And now we're doing podcasts at night. I'm working during the day. I have other businesses to run. So I'm still trying to work on my garage. Skip's done his house 3 times over already.
Oh, I have not. My wife made me some of the bathroom cabinets. I learned how to hang clothes in the closet. Uh,
Mhm.
Basically, I did clean the garage a few days ago, but other than that, she wanted
Mhm.
me to paint the bathroom, but that means I can pull everything off the wall and all that stuff. So I don't know. So what have you been doing during quarantine? Besides, I know we already talked a little bit about what you have been doing, but do you work? Do you have like a side hustle or anything like that? A gig on the side or?
No, not really. I mean, I've been doing a ton of organizing. I've helped my mom clean out her entire office, which she kept, believe it or not, she kept almost every single one of our report cards from like third grade, like on. I think there was one for preschool for me. I was like, we're gonna throw that in the trash.
You didn't find it hard to part with that?
No,
Wait till you have kids someday.
no,
Yeah.
You're not going to want to part with anything like that when you have kids.
I
Mhm.
know.
So
Well,
those are those memories, and
Mhm.
how fast they grow, and just take it from some. I have 3 daughters, probably your age.
Mhm.
So, and I know Deb's children are all grown up, so they grow so very, very fast. And we find
Mhm.
it hard to this day. Some of the things that we have, and it's just like, wow, you don't want to get rid of that stuff. It's just memories.
well, I got rid of the report cards, but I tell her that we all of our crafts and we've
Mhm.
created a box for the crafts.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
So here's an idea. I don't know, maybe you've done this already, but we took several of our kids' crafts and we tried to get one for most of their elementary years, and we dated them and so forth, and they are now our Christmas tree ornaments.
oh,
So when we set the tree up each year, every year, it's like they never saw them before. Oh, I did this in second grade. Oh, remember I did this. So you might be able to take some of your crafts and convert them
that is a
for
great.
that.
She she has 2 days when she does Christmas. She has her one fancy treat.
Uh-huh.
Nobody
Mhm.
fake gifts go underneath it. It is display only.
Yep,
And
yep.
has the family room tree that has like all that kind of memorabilia on it, which would be so cute if we did that.
So something to think about.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it is here, Ashley. My wife
Mhm.
got one of those trees that's elegant. It's got the fake boxes for gifts, and
Yeah.
that's in the formal living room. But in the family room, it's all those different ornaments, from the kids and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So
You guys.
what's going on down the road for you? I mean, hopefully you can get out and about, maybe do some performing. And what about music writing? What about another album?
Yes, yeah. So that was like the one big bummer for me this year too. I was supposed to be on tour and out there and visiting you guys and doing
Hmm.
shows. And I think that's been probably the hardest thing for me because I'm such a social person too. And making that connection with fans, especially like really
Mhm.
sick, being able to like sing it for them, hearing their feedback right then and there, it's just something so special. So I'm super excited. That is still, everyone's looking for 2021, and I'm
Hmm.
just
Mhm.
saying prayers that that's going to go down. But when I head back to Nashville, we are going to start to finish up the album, hopefully record the rest of the songs, see if we can beat any of them out with some more writing. But that is the goal, to have a finished album by the end of the year.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah.
Forward to that. You in the studio, what's it like to be in the actual studio? Is it like such a good feeling saying, yeah, I'm here and I'm laying down these tracks? And I know it's a lot of work, but that's got to be a really neat feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's just a feeling of accomplishment. Like I
Mhm.
finally did something. I made something of this song. It has like it's a product now. It's something that I built and put together, and it's so fun too. I mean, the musicians that we've had play on the tracks are just so laid back. I mean, they're phenomenal musicians,
Mhm,
and to
mhm.
sit and watch them too is so fun.
Yeah, they do that all the time, though. I mean, explain how that works. I know how it works, but you as an artist, explain to everybody that might be watching this. How does that work with the musicians in the studio? They're not your regular band. They are studio musicians, so to
Yeah.
speak,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
some of the best of the best.
Yes, yes. And they are just, I mean, seriously, one of the songs he roughly charted out a song that we'd worked on and was just like, here you go. And they were like, okay, okay, so you want a little bit of this there? Well, and I'm like, I mean, I guess. And then they go and do it, and you're like, what? How did you do that? Like, it amazes me. So we do that first, and then we go and record the vocals.
Mhm. See, I think it would be really cool if you could just go in and watch a session and just watch how it all comes down. As
Yeah.
somebody that's
Mhm.
never seen something like that before, this to see how an artist like yourself and how all the musicians come together, and and then you hear the final product. Now, the final product, of course, that may take weeks to come
Mhm.
out, before you hear it, but still everybody lays down a track. You may hear the drummer might be in a booth by himself. The guitar player is going to be in a booth by himself. Maybe you, as the vocalist, you're going to be somewhere else in the room. And then it probably all comes together in your headphones. And you got somebody running the board and laying the tracks down and then mixing it afterwards. So
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think
crazy.
the shocking thing to me that I did not know is when you go to master the song, like finish it, put all the final touches on it. You can do that. Like we recorded Let Me Go probably 2 years ago now.
Mhm, mhm,
Then when we decided we were going to release it, then we went in and mastered it, which
mhm,
is so cool to me because you can have this song that in your mind, because you recorded it 2 years ago, is old. But then when you go and master it, I mean, it brings out a whole new life of the song. It's crazy. And those guys that master songs, their ears and the things you can hear, I mean,
yeah, it's something you and I would never even, it's like probably wouldn't even notice. And he's like, no, did you hear that? Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
and I know, I have people like that on the radio side that, there's certain things that they listen for. And it's like, I didn't hear that. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. We got to take care of this. That can't be there. Well, if I can't hear it, nobody else is going to hear it. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Somebody will notice it. So it's all about perfection. and it all comes together. And then when Deb and I hear it out, or I play it on the radio, and I always pass the new music by Deb too, doing what she does. She's got such a passion and dedication for the country music, and of course, me being a radio programmer, it's nice to hear what somebody else thinks and what they hear. So,
Yeah.
Bringing it all together.
We love all that new music.
Yeah.
That's been the one nice thing about quarantine, right? We've heard there's been a lot of extra music that has been coming out now because people have the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been shocked with how many people are releasing new songs. I'm like, whoa, I never thought it was busy, but I mean, it's great. It's great to have new music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find you're more productive when you're there in California or when you're heading out to Nashville and you're in person with your co-writers?
Yeah, when I'm in Nashville.
Yeah.
Hard to and I feel I've never felt so disconnected because I mean I'm there so much, and I have a ton of friends there, so I haven't seen them forever, and it's been really weird and hard, and I didn't realize how much that it really is my home, and so is California because I have my whole family here, but there's something different in Nashville that it's my home. But that I've totally started doing in quarantine. I have picked up running, which never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would be a runner. I don't know what it is. I started with a mile and I was like, okay, got a little runner's high. And then I've made it up to 4 miles.
Wow.
You go. My goodness. Not only do you hunt, but you run. And I'm impressed. That's great.
Just started. So we'll see how long it lasts, but it's probably been one of my most saving grace to go out and clear my mind and just be able to get back down and in a routine to feel motivated like I would in Nashville.
Right. To be a runner, I mean, it takes a little bit to initially do it, but I think once you start running, it becomes like a habit. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden it's like, I have friends that do it. I don't, and I probably should. I'm just lazy. But it's like they run every day, and it's part of their routine. And once you start, then you want to do it more and more and more.
Yeah. I've found myself, I usually always I lift weights here and there. I used to do Pilates, yoga, and all that stuff. And now I'm just I just want to run. I just want to go for a run.
Well, it's great exercise, and it gets your heart pumping, and you bring that heart rate up, and it's good for you. So
I think I used to get that cardio from stage. So now that I'm not on stage anymore, I'm I'm missing something.
Yeah. So I would, with you making that statement, I would assume that when you are on stage, it's pretty much, is it high energy when you got the full band with you and all that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's my most favorite thing is performing live. That is, I love making music. I love writing the music, but when I get to go out and perform it live with my band and we just rock. I mean, like I said, I was raised on country music, but my dad and my brother and sister were huge rock and roll fans. And so I was raised on the Rolling Stones, CCR, all those guys and that just rock. And which last year, was it last year? I think Leonard Skinner came here and my dad and I wanted to go so bad and something happened. We weren't able to go, but I love a high energy concert. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I try to put off on stage.
I love a high energy concert. Love it, love it, love it. One of the concerts that we were supposed to go to this year that was canceled was Kenny Chesney with Florida Georgia Line and Old Dominion.
Oh,
and what a lineup. And we were going down to Nissan to watch the concert, and an outdoor, great summer night with those 3 groups of people. Oh my God. Talk about energy. I was very disappointed because you don't know if all 3 of those, bands or Kenny with the other 2 groups can all get together on the same date next year.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I know. I miss so much. This is first time I've gone this long without even going, and here in California, we don't have writers' rounds or anything like that. When I'm in Nashville, we're constantly going to stuff, not performing ourselves. So it's weird.
Absolutely.
Did I just hear a dog bark?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No. Please don't apologize. We're all dog people. That's why I have a lab, and then I've got a rescue upstairs, and I know Deb's got a dog, and most of the artists that we chat with have a dog. Now
Yeah.
My dog, see, she's been walking around behind us today. She's right. Which way?
I see her now. She's over in front of
Yeah.
the fireplace.
She's little aged, so she's just wandering around.
What kind of dog do you have, Ashley?
They are. I have 2 Bernese Mountain Dogs.
Oh, nice.
One's mine, and they're pretty big, but they're
Mhm.
dogs ever. They're such cuddlers.
I love it.
Mm.
Yeah, we have a yellow lab, and the other one is a rescue. We rescued him right around Christmas time. He originally came from Texas, but he's just a great dog. He didn't eat his way through the fence today, and my neighbor had to come over and ring the doorbell and tell me the dog was out. So, but it's just he's a troublemaker, but on the other hand, he's, believe it or not, very well behaved, all things considered. It's just that when he sees a chipmunk or a squirrel or a rabbit, he's off and running, and nothing's going to stop him. So,
Gosh, that's just like my dog Pistol. Her name is Pistol Annie. I named her after the band.
I kind of figured. I love it.
Cute.
They are my favorite band, but she is the same. She does not listen. She is stubborn, and she will just like, I'll call her and she'll turn back, like look at you and be like, "You think I'm going to come? You think I'm coming to you?"
No. Put a treat in your hand or go towards the treat jar and
Even with a treat, she's like,
Is she in her teenage years by any chance?
She will actually be 4 in September. So yeah.
So
okay.
in dog years, right?
Yeah.
So wait, it's 4 times 7. Well, she'd be a little older, but in doggy, I'd say she's in her teenage years.
Well, that's awesome. Dogs are great too. And yeah. So what do you do for fun? Okay, you run, you hunt. What else? Do you play softball, baseball? Do you get out in any sports? Are you one of those girls that goes to a lot of sporting events or what?
No, I mean, I was a cheerleader in high school,
Okay.
which I do consider a sport. I know
It
there are
is.
people that don't, but it was hard work.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, but I love football. So like football season, I'm kind of like, what's gonna happen? I am a born 49ers fan, but then boyfriend is Patriots, which I've come to love. So I'm like mix.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting. Patriots and 49ers.
I know it is, but yeah. So I mean, football, yeah. But other than that, sports, not really. I love to be outdoors, and that's what's been great. That even in quarantine, out not been canceled, so we have
Mhm.
on the boat almost every weekend. In the winter, I'm the same way. I like to go up to the mountains and be outside.
I was going to ask you about the seasons. I'm being out near Sacramento that you obviously don't get the snow like we get the snow, but if you want to get snow, you can go up into the mountains, maybe do a little skiing or just kind of hang out. It's
Yeah.
probably absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm technically only an hour and a half from Tahoe. So
Okay.
all the time, my parents have a place up in Truckee.
Nice.
Yeah, I was raised on snow skiing and snowmobiling and all that stuff.
Very nice. What's your website, Ashley?
It is ashleybarronofficial.com.
Okay. And the official, why was somebody like using the name or
You know, I don't really remember why I did official. I think
smart
because
move?
it was so common.
Mhm.
It was hard to like find. And then I think it happened too with Instagram. I couldn't even do just Ashley Barron. It had to be something else. So, and there's an author and a fitness coach, which I'm like, everyone told me I am not the blonde fitness coach. Okay.
It's funny because I always put a little teaser up about the podcast. And I went on and said, okay, I got to find a picture that I can use legally of Ashley and make sure I get it, to promote the fact that you're coming out with us tonight. And there was a blonde that came up in this white bikini, and I'm going, I mean, I'm just like, no. I saw a picture. She's got dark hair. That's not her. That's not her. Anyways, I wouldn't put that up. But I'm like,
I just started running. Okay. So I probably classes from her.
there you go. There you go. Do you do like the when they what do they call the running when they run a 5K or they do the
Well, no. So I mean, that was the thing too. I wasn't even like trying to like run to train for anything. But then my boyfriend the other day looked up what a 10K. I was like, I think I could run a 5K. And he was like, well, it's only 3 miles. You're up to 4. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, what's a 10K? And a 10K is 6.1 miles. So I'm
No.
like, Okay, now that's my goal. So now I'm like, okay, I don't know, maybe I'm going to be one of those people now that years from now I'm going to be running triathlons. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. I
Well, there's the rock and roll marathon in Nashville every year, so that could be a goal for you.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and also they do the St. Jude. I think
It's the St. Jude one. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
There you go.
That's you could do the half marathon, which is like 13 miles or something, or 13K maybe, because I think the full marathon's 26K, something like that. I always wanted to do that, but I just never got around to it.
I think there's a lot of musicians that do that. Well, there's some radio people in Nashville that do that as well.
That's a huge event.
A huge event, and it's of course benefiting St. Jude Children's Hospital, which is the best. So that's cool. What about so on your website? I would assume you can get a hold of all your music is on there, and people can get some samples and maybe some merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah. So all my music is on there. It'll take you. It's all my music is on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all that good stuff. But we haven't linked merch to my website yet.
Okay.
And hesitant like in quarantine because I'm like, I don't know, like, is this something we want to do? But I think with the new single coming out, we may start to put some stuff up. But we've been doing tons of giveaways with merch on my Instagram too as well. So if you want to get some of that, that's probably where to check.
I always mention that because I think we need to support the artists like yourself. And we tell all the artists that we talk to, we mention the fact that we like to promote that if you have merchandise, to please go on and support the artist, because obviously right now you're
jobless.
I'm trying to find the right word. I don't know if that was the right word, but it was close.
It was close. Sort of jobless. What's that?
I said I appreciate that.
Oh, anytime.
Now, pardon me if this is a dumb question, like a lot of mine. How far are you from the ocean, though, Sacramento?
So, the closest coast would be like San Francisco, which we're 2 hours, 3 in traffic, which is the norm these days.
Right.
So yeah, about 2 hours, and we're really north, so we have more of the like. We're not sunny California with the beaches in San Diego.
Right.
8 hours, 9 hours from us.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it was that far. I know you're north. It's just I'm trying to picture it in my mind.
Yeah, it's so funny. I realized now, being in Tennessee so much, how they'll be like, oh, we're going up, going over to Kentucky, or we're going down to Florida. And it's just like, oh, these quick drives, when I'm like, I'm in one state and it takes me that long to get together. So it's, we're different. We're pretty big.
So the album is out. You have an album out, correct? Already? One from a while ago.
Just the single.
Okay.
From a while ago, but just a new single right now, Let Me Go. And that will be out online hopefully at the end of this month. I'm
going to write this down because I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah. Take good notes, Skip.
I am right now. There we go. Yes, I know the single's out, but I thought I saw, maybe I'm just thinking about going to your website and seeing the music, or I'm not really sure, but I know there's several other, I can go on YouTube and get your playlist. And as a matter of fact, talking about playlist, I saw on your Facebook, not that I was creeping or anything like that, but trying to find out a little bit more about you. And I saw you're trying to put together a playlist. And so what would be on your playlist?
It would be, right now, like my running playlist, I've got a lot of pop, a lot of upbeat stuff. So I'd have a little bit of that because I love the girl pop. I'm kind of into that. But then also probably some rock and roll, some old school. And then I'm also a huge 90s country fan. My sister was so obsessed with Tim McGraw that her email was Miss McGraw 21 at Yahoo. I know like every single one of Tim McGraw's old songs. Like that to me was like country's prime.
Well, I think Taylor Swift was kind of a Tim McGraw fan as well, because she did the song early on, Tim McGraw.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I can remember her coming into the studio while I was on the air. It was her and her mom, and she sang that song in the studio. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So a lot of 90s pop, 90s country, you said. And
Yeah.
pop. 90s country, like John Michael Montgomery or early Garth and stuff like that.
Yes. Love John.
Michael Montgomery.
Sorry. Yeah. It's a big. Uh, love Garth.
Mhm.
Martina McBride. She
Mhm.
was my favorite. Same with early Phil too. I love stuff. It is just her voice is phenomenal.
Yeah, we had Martina on with us a few weeks ago, which was really something. A great conversation, and we found out a lot about her. We already knew a lot of it, but just to go a little bit deeper was really interesting.
Oh,
We had her on, so we had Pam Tillis on. Uh,
Mhm.
we had one of your label mates, Dylan Gerard, was on
oh,
a
Mhm.
couple of
cool.
days ago, which
Mhm.
great guy, and
Yeah.
found out a lot about him. And SSM has such a great roster of artists, as I mentioned minutes ago. Just all of just Patty knows what she's in. Dean,
Mhm.
they know what they're doing. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're great people. It's like family over there, and
yeah.
like being on the label with Dylan, like he's such a cool guy. It's really awesome.
Now, do you guys get together at all, or just is it like at CRS y'all get together, or do you? Or,
Pretty much the big events is like when we all get to see each other and
Mhm.
really, be like family and stuff like that.
And at CRS last time around, you performed in the suite or in the room there, right?
Yeah, yes, I did. Had
I
a
think
huge.
I was standing in. I think Deb and I were standing in there.
Ah,
Mhm.
I think we're waiting in line with our ticket to get a cocktail.
yeah.
Probably we were.
Yes. Or Deb, take my ticket and go get a cocktail. I'll wait. So, Ashley, it's awesome to chat with you tonight. It's fun to find out a little more about you. I know we're all over the place with the questions, but it's kind of a cool conversation where we can just sit and chat and find out
Mhm.
about you and your music and your whole way of writing and when you get on stage, what it's like to be on stage and to find it, in your own words, what it's like. And I still get a kick out of the deer head in the back. As a matter of fact,
Mhm.
somebody made a comment here. Where is it? There it is. Nice deer mount.
Oh, thank-
Mhm.
I know it's old. Now you got me craving to go on another hunt. I'm
You
like,
should,
okay,
you should. I think that that's cool. What'd you use to get the deer? Was it a bow or did you rifle?
no, it was a rifle. That's funny too because my thing is an arrow. But ironically, I don't bow hunt. I've never bow hunted. I would love to try like shoot a bow or whatever. But
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, so I got him with a rifle.
Didn't you feel bad?
Um,
No.
No.
a little bad is because I did shoot him in the behind first.
Oh, that
Ugh.
sucks.
So then he went down, and then I got him again, and it was clean kill, and I was like, whoo.
Now, who
But
gutted the deer?
well, I helped my dad, but
Okay.
he
Okay.
because it's pretty messy. It's pretty
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to haul it out of the woods.
yeah, and he was. I mean, my dad's great. He's basically like, if you want to do it, you got to do it all. So
Mhm.
he's still very helpful, but it's an amazing experience, and I think we still have some of him in our freezer. So,
So you eat the venison?
huh?
You
Of course.
you eat the meat, the
Yeah,
venison? Okay.
yes, all of it.
Well, I know there's a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but I do know some people that hunt. Then they give the meat away. So,
Mm.
but I don't know if that's a good thing to do. I think you need to hunt for a reason because for food for you. That,
Yeah,
that's the way it works. Is that a like a 6 or an 8 pointer? What is it? I'm trying to
1, 2. So he's an 8.
8. Wow.
Boy, my dad would be very jealous, I'll tell you that.
There you go.
I used to hunt with my dad when I was young, and we'd go pheasant hunting. I'd go fishing with him, and I never could have the heart to kill a deer. But I would do all that stuff until I became I don't know, later teenager, and then other things became interesting. So I totally know where you're at, but I don't know if I could do it anymore these days.
Yeah.
So.
I went on a pheasant hunt one time, and
Mhm.
I didn't really know, the ins and out about it. So I was like, I'll go, like, just kind of want to experience what it was all about. And the guy I was with was like, go run in that bush, like
Yeah.
just. And I was like, why? And he was like, because I'll be right behind you. Well, sure enough, he was not, and a huge pheasant came up,
Yeah.
and I understand why you hunt with a dog for pheasant.
Yes, and that is this. I used to do that too, and then until my father started getting hunting dogs. Well, sometimes even with the dogs, he'd have me go in the bushes, and I would be like, knowing that somewhere in there, some pheasant's gonna fly up and scare the crud out of me. I'd still go in and do it, and you expect it, but you just don't expect it.
Yeah.
But to this day, I mean, he just picked up he's always had hunting dogs. Now he doesn't hunt anymore, but as a pet, he just got a German short hair pointer, and the dog is just gorgeous. But when it's out running around, it's sniffing on the ground looking for something. But it's a good sport if you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So
Then she goes to Nashville and puts out hit songs.
Yeah.
there you go.
It's a great.
Two personality.
It is, and I love it. I love it. That's quite the personality.
Mhm.
How can you not like a personality like that? That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Ashley Barron, thank you so much for coming on with us and chatting for a little bit tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, finding out about you, your music, the music that's on the Wolf here in Syracuse. We're a big supporter of artists like you. A lot of our new and up and coming artists and future stars. And don't stop, don't look back, just keep looking ahead and go get them, girl. If you want to give out your website once again, so if somebody's watching this, they can go and check out all your information.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you guys, thank you so much for having me. This was super fun. I love being able to do this and connect and stay in the industry and stay music strong. But you can find all my stuff at ashleybarronofficial.com and Ashley Barron Official on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Ashley Barron for all.
Love it, Ashley. Thank you. Good luck to you. Let's keep in touch, and hopefully, when all this lifts, this pandemic stuff, hopefully, when we're in Nashville, we're there quite often. That we can hook up and maybe come and see you perform, and just kind of maybe hang out and have a cocktail together and just talk about life and find out where you're going and what you're doing. So.
Yeah, of course. And I'm determined to make it to you guys. I was so bummed that trip got canceled. So I still have all my flight points for it. And I'm going to guys.
Great. We're looking forward to it.
Yes, absolutely. Ashley, take care, my friend. Great having you on tonight. Peace to you and your dogs. And hopefully Larry's not too loud up there and keeping you up at night. But yeah, but I can't. Can I ask you, why did you name it Larry?
So when I was younger, I used to name all of my dad's kills, and the name seriously just like came to me. So in our cabin up in Truckee, like all of them are named. And when I shot him, I was like, that's Larry. And so sad is one of my great uncles is Larry. So we joke with that now. And I swear I wasn't thinking of him, but it just came to me.
I think that's great. All right, Ashley, thank you so much. We'll chat soon. If you want to hang out, we'll chat a little bit afterwards. But thank you for joining us here live, and we're catching up. And hopefully, you've made some new fans, and they can go out and get your music, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us tonight.